evening and welcome to the Queensland State Netball Centre for this preliminary final in the HART Sapphire series between the Ipswich Jets and the QUT Wildcats. We're looking forward to a great match this evening. The Ipswich Jets last week defeating the Bond University Bull Sharks. Tough to get out at this time of the evening. And the Wildcats going down in a close match to the Cougars. So we're looking forward to a really tough match between both of these teams as they fight for their place in the grand final next week. My name's Karen Top and I'm joined tonight by Simone Malati. Looking forward to a great evening.
Yeah, Toppy, I'm really excited for this game. I think it can go either way. Both teams, have finished their season off really strongly and deserve their position in this prelim final tonight. But as we know, only one can go through to meet the Brisbane North Cougars next week. So I think we're going to see it all put out on the line tonight, which is absolutely what they need to do. But I'm just excited to watch.
Should be exciting. QUT Wildcats tonight, their playing roster: Alicia Tahara starting goal shooter, Stephanie Besto starting goal attack, Lisa Maimai wing attack, Keisha Grant at centre, Helena Bebe at wing defence, Danielle Taylor at goal defence, and Lenora Misser at goalkeeper. With their substitutions, Annie Laurie, Riley Batchelor and Rachel Fanana, coached by Paula Stewart.
And while we wait for the Ipswich Jets line to come up, we see the Jets starting with Lucy Benjamin in at goal shooter, Rosie Baker at goal attack, Stephanie O'Brien wing attack, Brooke Hams in at centre, Siobhan Sherlaw in at wing defence, Leah Warno goal defence, Bridie Condren in goalkeeper. Their bench tonight is Ashley Garrett, McKeely Hock and Charlie Bell, and coached by Tracy Jeans Fraser.
We were talking earlier about the battle for both teams last week in their semi-finals. They've got tall shooters at either end of the court, some strong tall defenders at either end of the court as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who gains the ascendancy throughout the evening, who can shut down the ball coming into their attack circle, and then whether they can utilise their turnovers and convert them.
Yeah, look, definitely. Lots of, there are going to be lots of pressure situations throughout the match, and it's going to be down to the team, I think, that are able to handle the majority of those moments the best. But they're both stacked with, fantastically, experienced athletes, but also, fantastic athletes in themselves. They've all, great players in their own right. So, which is why I think it's just going to be a contest and a battle, which is why I think I'm really excited. And we see two fantastic coaches in Paula Stewart and Tracy Jeans Fraser in, so it's going to be a battle of them as well, the way that they can kind of influence their teams during this game. So I think we just sit back and watch it all unfold, because it's going to be an absolute cracker.
It's going to be interesting how both coaches use their tactical timeouts tonight, and then equally how the teams respond when they come out of those timeouts back onto court. The players have just been called out onto the court. We're excited for the first whistle tonight and to see who can make the most of every opportunity when they're out there.
Definitely. So our umpires tonight are Jessica Lakeman and Kimberly Foreman, and the reserve is Cara Winterborn. So again, like we said in the earlier match, great achievement for these umpires to be given a finals game. They've had an equally long season, as well as the athletes and the coaches. So, great to see both of the umpires here. So you see the Wildcats start with the first centre pass. You can see the intensity is high, even to start, isn't it? There's lots of movement.
Lots of movement both on and off the ball at this point in time, and both teams really wanting to stamp their authority early in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Really good start in their attacking end from the Wildcats to score that first goal. It's always nice to get the first goal on the board, just to be able to take a breath, settle the nerves a little bit.
Absolutely. Often players, will concentrate on those first things, the first pass, the first shot, the first hands over the ball, whatever it might be, just to, like you said, settle them into the game. But both teams started really strongly, and I think both being really clear in the way that they want to play this game out.
What are some of the matchups you're looking forward to?
Look, I think, the matchup in the centre court between Halida Vave and Steph O'Brien, both hugely experienced athletes, both captains of their team. So, I think that's going to be a fantastic matchup as we see the game unfold. And I think the shooting ends, I think Lenora Missa on Lucy Benjamin and Bridie Condren on Alicia Tahara. Again, there's matchups all over the court, but I think those ones, whoever gets the kind of advantage in those matchups, I think might influence the result.
And we're seeing already that the Wildcats are just everywhere in the defensive end at the moment, and the Ipswich Jets are just struggling to find their spacing in their rotations. Ipswich Jets do have Charlie Bell on the bench, so one of those young up-and-coming athletes, stands at 6'5", so she's always an interesting target.
Yeah, and it's a great, they've got a great option in that they can swing Benjamin out to goal attack if needed and Bell on, so that's something different that the Wildcats don't necessarily have in terms of those two tall timbers, but Rosie Baker's done a fantastic job this season and has provided a great alternate option for Tracy Jeans-Fraser as well. So not being able to find the goal on that occasion, the Jets, but making it really hard for the Wildcats to transition.
Lenora Missa done a great job in positioning herself for the rebound, and then the Jets equally working really hard in defence on the transverse line and able to turn the ball back. Pace does look quite frantic down there on court at the moment.
Yeah, look, it's all on the line, like we said. They wanting to work their way and find their rhythm as early as possible. I think the last game we talked about both teams probably taking a little bit longer to do that, whereas both teams in this game are trying to do that much earlier.
Interesting on that occasion, Bridie Condren just coming out of the circle, looking to hunt a little bit, put some pressure on.
Yeah, and it was great vision there by Grant to spot that and have the confidence to let that ball go to Tahara under the post. Fantastic shot there by Benjamin at range. That's what she's going to need to do tonight, and she certainly looks like she's in the right frame of mind to do it.
Yes, when Lucy's feeling confident, she's able to sink those long shots. There's good placement on that pass into Alicia Tahara on that occasion.
Yeah, my weighted that really well into Tahara.
For all of the players, from an attacking point of view, the closer that they can get onto the circle edge, the more effective those passes are into the tall shooters.
Yeah, definitely, and particularly with the calibre of defenders that they will be feeding over tonight in both, Condren and Warno for the Jets, and in Missa and Taylor down for the Wildcats. So they're going to need to do everything they can to, gain that advantage. And you see the Jets making it really hard for the Wildcats on that occasion to get to circle edge, but they're able to find Tahara who scores for them. So an early lead for the Wildcats. Probably just been able to make the most of the opportunities that they've had, but you sense that this game's going to be played at this pace for the entirety of the match.
Bridie Condren having a really good go at that ball that swung across the circle. With her height, it's always dangerous to swing from the pocket across the circle. She didn't quite get the timing on that occasion, but I have no doubt she will as the match continues. Definitely,
and by her coming out and hunting, I think it definitely puts the feeders in two minds. So, she might not have been successful on that occasion, but she will definitely make the Wildcats think twice the next time they look to deliver that ball.
I feel like at the moment the Wildcats are just being nice and patient as they work their way towards the circle.
Yeah, they seem like they've got their rhythm.
Trying to get your timing this early in the match when it's being played quite frantically is always a bit of a challenge. Heart rate's going.
Yeah, trying to kind of get rid of that nervous energy, and it's just those little tips and those little moments. Wasn't really anything in that, but it was just that ability to disrupt and get ball to hand or hand to ball. Oh, fantastic. Lisa Mai. Great vision and deception there on that pass.
Yes, looked like she was going to feed that ball out across the top of the circle, which Bridie wanted to have a go at, and at the last minute able to change up and feed it into Alicia alone underneath the post.
Bridie just guilty a little bit of going a little bit too early, like definitely needs to hedge and have a go, but when she's got the experienced feeders of Maimai and Grant on the edge, she may become exposed. It's like a footwork call.
Ipswich have utilised the ball. They were looking to swing into attack quite quickly, and the Wildcats just able to hold them up. Jets making good use of the player being penalised on that occasion. Just being able to wind back one goal there. Wildcats are still leading at this stage 8-5.
Yeah, it was a good settling shot there by Rosie Baker. Oh, fantastic feed there. Well done, Brooke Holmes, to find Lucy Benjamin under the post.
That camera angle showed really well that she pretty much was threading the needle on that occasion between the two Wildcats defenders. The timing of it was really well done.
Absolutely. Another great feed in there by Maimai. Putting lots of deception on her pass to keep the Jets defenders in two minds.
Steph Maestro is doing a lot of really good work outside the circle at the moment to keep Leah Woolnough, her goal defence, really busy. So that's leaving that one-on-one contest between Bridie and Alicia at the moment.
Well, Missa had a hunt as well. Strong challenge by Taylor.
Placement when you've got Lenora Missa and goalkeeper has to be spot on.
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
so quick with her feet and her hands and gets uses her outside arm really well to get a hand in those balls and disrupt, as we saw earlier.
Yeah, definitely. Well done there by Bridie Conneran to cover that movement.
First time that the Jets have hassled the Wildcats in their attack and forced that ball over the baseline. Goal line, I get in trouble from the umpires about that.
Oh, well done. Danielle Taylor, fantastic win of the ball there at 3 feet. Hands over. Shows the value of having that hands over pressure.
Yeah. Dan's often the quiet achiever. You don't always hear or see what she's doing, but when she times that, she does it really effectively and is able to usually pull off a few of those in a game.
Yeah, Bridie Conneran equally did a great job there to continue to contest for that ball and win it back for her team, who've been able to score. And it's only one goal in it now with the centre pass. Jets have the opportunity here to draw, to equalise the score. Strong challenge there by Helida Vava, but deemed to have contacted.
The Jets just wanting to move that ball fairly fast around the circle edge, using their triangles, having players set up around the circle edge so that they can find the space into the shooters.
A great shot there by Baker.
It was actually quite smart of Lucy Benjamin on that occasion, just to move a bit away from the post, bring Lenora with her and create a bit more space for Rosie.
Definitely. So we see Annie Laurie has entered the game in that goal attack for the QUT Wildcats.
Annie came on last week in the game against the Cougars and shot particularly well from range. It is one of her strengths as a player. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes this week with the different defensive combinations that she's facing.
A great job there by the Jets. I feel like they found their rhythm now, so...
Yes. I'm thinking that Annie and Leah Woolnough would have done a lot of match play against one another in the state team squads.
Yeah, definitely. Both up and coming underage athletes. So, yeah, they would know each other very well, which will make for a fantastic matchup as well. Sometimes it is harder to play against the people that you know the best. But I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup as well as the game continues. Great shot there by Laurie. Having those two shooting options, both teams have them, it just makes it so much harder from a defensive point of view. So, really...
And knowing that Annie can take the shot from distance anywhere in the circle, it's not possible to drop off and let her have any space.
Yeah, definitely. Short pass, it looks like.
So the challenge is with the pass, there must be enough space between the hands at the release of the ball for another player to pass through. So sometimes even though the bodies look far enough apart, if the hands are not the correct distance, it's deemed to be a short pass.
Great build up there by the Jets. We're really patient and just kept working the ball around.
Lenora's putting really strong pressure over that shot at the moment. So just looking at whether she can disrupt Lucy in her shooting rhythm.
Well done by Baker there, really used the baseline. But unfortunately not able to make the shot on that occasion.
The challenge for both teams is how they reorganise once they get that turnover so that they can transition the ball down court. Probably just getting caught a little flat.
And a little wild there, the Wildcats. They had everyone sitting out in the outside channels and no one offering through the middle. So really tough then for the thrower to try and find someone because they were like, it was a green dress. And the Jets, great. I was about to say did a great job in turning the ball over, but Laurie has turned it back over for her team. And with scores even, the Wildcats will be looking to obviously score from this, but the Jets are making it very hard for them at the moment. Well done. Oh, it was a great cut there by Laurie, but just not able to control that pass. Or the take.
Yeah, she's done everything right.
Yeah.
The movement, the timing, the speed of it, and just the being able to keep control of it.
Great touch there by Vava. So Helida Vava was the recipient of the inaugural Katie Walker Sapphire last night.
MVP for the competition, which was exciting.
She's had a cracking season, so it was great to see her rewarded. It's a better shot there by Rosie Baker.
Yeah. Helida spent time with the Firebirds as one of their team members when they won the competition a few years ago. Since then, she's had 2 babies.
Yes.
And in between and after her second has come back to playing netball at this level.
Yes, definitely. So great to see, like we said, her back on court and playing so fantastically well and helping her team to get into this position tonight to be in this prelim final.
You know, she's always working at balancing up being a mum with the training and being on court for the Wildcats. A challenge for any athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Wildcats back in possession. Looks like Condren penalised off the ball. Great shot again by Laurie at range, at distance.
Bridie Condren had a fantastic match last week, I thought, against Siggy Berger from the Bull Sharks, where she was able to get really good positioning. Just finding a little bit more of a challenge tonight on Alicia Tahara, who has a different hold, and Bridie will be looking to continue to find ways to challenge that. So we go into the first quarter break with the QUT Wildcats leading 14 to the Ipswich Jets 13. We'll look forward to seeing you back here for the second quarter. Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre for this preliminary final between the QUT Wildcats and the Ipswich Jets. We're going into the second quarter with the Wildcats having a narrow lead, 14 to the Ipswich Jets 13. It's been a tough first quarter from both teams. Both have had opportunities. Wildcats pushed out a little early. Jets have fought their way back to only be 1 goal behind at this point in time. What are your thoughts leading into the second quarter, Sim?
Yeah, look, I think we always knew it was going to be tight. Some of the stats that we were able to get from that first quarter show that the Wildcats are shooting at 100%, which is fantastic. So, you know, when they're centre court and are able to deliver the shooters the ball, they're able to score for them. I think the Jets' ability to claw back the lead that the Wildcats had gotten early in that first quarter was due to the fact that they were scoring 100% off their turnovers. So, I mean, I think, you know, we knew it was going to be tight, and we talked about it, you know, at the beginning of the game. But it's still anyone's game.
And we see that the Jets have made a change. They've brought Charlie Bell into goal shooter, which is we anticipated happening at some point in time. Lucy Benjamin coming out to goal attack. They got the ball into Charlie well on that first occasion. Just those nerves taking the first shot, playing a part. Wildcats not able to capitalise at the moment, so the Jets will be looking to make the most of getting this ball.
Yeah, definitely. And Charlie will be looking to just obviously sink this first shot to get herself into the game, but unfortunately not on that occasion. But she'll get there definitely. I've had the privilege of coaching Charlie, and she will get herself into the game very quickly, I'm sure, and she'll have the great support of Benjamin out in front of her that will keep talking to her. And what a great change up for the Jets to be able to do that. I thought Rosie Baker was quite solid in doing her job really well, but just to offer that change, I think is definitely something that the Jets will want to utilise.
Bridie Condren had a great outside arm there, forced the ball over the baseline. There's lots of contests happening there underneath the ring at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like I put the mocker on the Wildcats after saying that they've been shooting at 100% in that first quarter, but they're able to convert that time.
So they're just able to sneak out to a 2-goal lead at the moment. Good contest from Bridie. Just perhaps needed to take her feet to the ball.
Yeah, and just change her line a little bit. But like I said, I mean, she's coming out, which is fantastic to see, and it does absolutely put doubt in those feeders' minds, so they have to be conscious of that. Well done, Vava.
Great contest from Halida on that occasion. She's so good when she's got her hands over the ball and times it particularly well. It's got to be great timing. You know, she can't move or she can't grab the ball until it's released from the hands.
Yeah, that's a better shot there by Charlie Bell. Now she's back in the game.
Lucy perhaps getting that ball in the face as it came back at her from Halida's hands.
Well done by Condren.
So it's possibly what she wasn't doing quite so well in the first quarter. Like on that occasion, she just had such great front position and really read where that ball was going.
Yeah, definitely. And used the footwork to get around, I think, Tahara on that occasion.
Charlie's challenge when she's got that strong defensive pressure from the Wildcats coming from Lenora Missa and Dan Taylor is to be able to settle into her rhythm and to gain confidence in her shot.
Another great turnover there by the Jets.
2 intercepts from Bridie Condren early in this quarter.
Yeah. And I feel like the Wildcats in that attacking end have started to hesitate and probably reverting a bit too much to the fake and to trying to hold it up instead of letting it go. Like on that one, it probably could have got let go, and then Maimo chose to let it go on that occasion. But to their credit, the Wildcats have been able to win the ball back. Oh, and turn it over again.
Looking really congested through the midcourt for both teams when they're trying to transition. So the defensive pressure, it continues to be really strong. Challenge now for the attacking teams to identify where are the spaces and what's the timing for the movements.
Yeah, definitely. It's a possession call there, the umpire reminding the players, so no one's out of play. The Wildcats probably struggling a little bit on this transition. It's better.
Dan Taylor coming down the outside channel and just opening up the court, giving them another option.
Yeah, really needing their defenders to help carry that ball out and not get caught too wide. The Jets doing a great job at putting, sitting on the inside of their attackers and pushing them wide, but the Wildcats need to recognise that and make sure that they've got that strong drive coming through. Wonderful shot there by Laurie at range.
Looked like then the Wildcats just having a go at a closed circle with both Annie and Alicia Tahara sitting back in the circle. Alicia coming out to the edge. It was a quick transition from the Jets on that occasion for them to score.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Good job there by Condren. Yeah, just really utilising the height of their goalers. So Lucy just being able to deliver at height into Charlie. Oh, great. Leah Warno did everything she possibly could to keep that ball in play for her team, but unfortunately just a little bit late.
We spoke about it in the earlier game about that communication between players, and on that occasion, as well as this one, for the Jets, Charlie had the ball. She was looking for Lucy. Lucy was looking at the drive, so not making eye contact. On that occasion with the Wildcats, they had the pass going to Alicia just out of her reach.
Yes.
Jets getting a throw in, not quite connecting with a player. So for both teams, potentially just needing to take a breath, settle, find their timing and work with their teammates so that they're getting that smooth transition going.
Yeah, look, definitely both teams look a little bit guilty of playing a bit rushed, but I think that's just because of the nature of the game. Tactical timeout called here, probably not a bad opportunity for both teams to really reset and regroup and refocus. It's been played at a frenetic pace, so it's good to give players an opportunity just to have that deep breath that you talked about, and also the coaches just to remind the players of what those key messages were at the beginning of the game.
Wildcats are just sneaked away, so at the moment they're leading 19 to the Jets 16. Each time the Wildcats push out, the Jets have been catching up, although they've not been able to get the scoreline back to even. So we know that it's only one turnover at this point in time for them to get back on level pegging. It'll be interesting to see what they can do when they come back on court. Both coaches using a lot of hand gestures to their players as they're delivering their messages at the moment.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think at the moment the Jets have just not been able to convert those opportunities that they have had. So only converting 50% of their centre passes and turnover. So the ball that they're winning back, they're only converting half of it. So I think that is, reflected in probably why the score is that 3 the difference. In saying that, though, the Wildcats also are probably not converting as much of the ball as what they'd like to. They're at 75%. So just that little bit of difference is the difference in the scoreboard, but it's still really tight, and the game, it's still quite early. We're only really halfway of the second quarter, so there's plenty of the game to be played.
Just looking to be able to get that first goal, get themselves into their rhythm, which it appears that they're doing. Great drive down court then from Kesha Grant. Nikili Hosh has come onto the court for the Ipswich Jets into wing defence. Nikili is another tall player, plays both centre and wing defence. Great hands over the ball and was able to really disrupt that pass on that occasion.
Yeah, definitely, and great eyes in there to Lucy Benjamin to find her under the post.
Not often we see Charlie Bell that far out of the circle, but she delivered a great pass on that occasion.
Yeah, she's very mobile for a tall athlete, Charlie, so it's great that the Jets are utilising that. Opportunities for that pass, either to Tahara or Grant in the corner. Great challenge by Condren over the ball.
Annie Laurie had done a good job just to get a hand in and push the ball back to Alicia Tahara. Smart play down the court from the Jets on that occasion. Great pass to Charlie Bell, who took a good ball under pressure. And Jets are able to keep in touch. We go into the halftime break with the QUT Wildcats leading 25 to Jets 24. Quarter score, 11-all.
Yeah, drawn quarter. So, it was only 1 in it in the first quarter, and it's drawn in this second quarter. So, really tight. So, the players will take a well-earned break now, regroup, and then look to come out firing for the next half.
So, we'll look forward to seeing you all for the third quarter here at the HART Sapphire Series preliminary final between the QUT Wildcats and the Ipswich Jets. Welcome back to the HART Sapphire Series in this preliminary final between the QUT Wildcats and the Ipswich Jets. We've had a cracker of a game so far, with the QUT Wildcats leading at the halftime break 25 to the Ipswich Jets 24. As we anticipated, lots of fantastic matchups across the court. Both teams have had opportunities. Their opposition have been able to claw their way back and keep the scoreline fairly even at this point in time. What do you think we might see here in the third quarter, Sin?
Yeah, look, I think it's still anyone's game, and I think the stats absolutely reflect that. There's really even across the board. I think when we look at the shooting percentage, the Wildcats had the higher percentage leading into that second quarter, but probably haven't been able to dominate as much in that stat. over the Jets. I think the change-up with Benjamin and Bell definitely influenced that attack end for the Jets, which was fantastic to see. And I think at times they did a great job in stopping the transition of the Wildcats. But to the Wildcats' credit, they did get themselves into a bit of a corner, particularly in the middle of that second quarter, but they definitely fought themselves out of it. And look, it's so hard to call. It's so close. So I just think we've just got to sit back and watch it unfold, Toppy. Continue to watch some great netball. So it looks like the Jets have made at least one change that we can see, with Siobhan Shiola coming back onto the court into goal defence. Leah Woolnough pushing across into wing defence at this point in time. They seem to have stayed with their combination of Charlie Bell at goal shooter, Lucy Benjamin at goal attack, and Steph O'Brien at wing attack, and Brooke Hams in the middle. Wildcats look to have maintained their lineup as well at this point in time. Yeah, there doesn't appear to be any changes in the Wildcats line. So, I mean, when it's so close to call, I think, it's really, they're tough to make any sort of wholesale changes. Yeah. I think the move with Sherlaw and Woolnough is a good one. They've both kind of swung across both positions over the season. So well
good
done
hands
there by Hams. Yeah, great win of the ball over 3 feet.
So it'll be interesting because we probably haven't seen as many rolling subs happen in this game as we have earlier in the season. When you get into finals, coaches tend to go with the combinations that work and see if they can then fill out or play out that full 15-minute quarter or a 60-minute game.
Yeah, look, definitely. And I think when it is so tight, like I don't think any player is giving an inch away as such. So, I mean, I think they're all doing their job and fighting really hard. And at times it can be hard for a player off the bench to come on because they haven't had that opportunity to build up.
The pace when you've been sitting on the bench and you come out there can be sometimes hard to slot into.
Yeah, definitely.
Wildcats just being able to take advantage of that turnover and pushing the scoreline out, getting the first goal of the third quarter. So we're sitting at 26-24 at the moment.
This is a great drive in there by Laurie, but fantastic contest by Sherlaw. And another really strong challenge there. So I think, that is something that's happening across the board, is that every pass is being contested strongly. And every, there's no easy ride out there, I suppose. And
which we would expect at this time in the season, and given that we're a prelim final and it's winner takes all tonight through to the grand final. For one team, they get to go up against Cougars next week. For the other team, it is the end of their season.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And the calibre and experience of players on the court, I think, is. We also would expect that this will go down to the wire. I'm not sure how the coaches, I think the coaches would, hope that their team's able to blow out, but I think they both are very experienced and understand that that's not going to happen. So,
really good patience on that occasion from the Ipswich Jets, swinging that ball around the circle for long enough until it opened up with Charlie Bell ball side and underneath the post, giving her that easy goal.
Yeah, great depth on the drive by Grant there to get it into Laurie, who chose to refeed and almost took it a bit further away, but she has such a fantastic long-range shot, so why not shoot it wherever you're comfortable?
And good confidence to put that ball up over the really long arms of Bridie Condren.
Yeah,
Bridie had such good distance and great reach over the ball, and Annie was able to shoot through that on that occasion. Jets returning favour, so we're just keeping that 1-goal lead at the moment for the 2-goals lead for the Wildcats, 28-22. Oh, I'll get it right eventually. It's 28-26.
Another great shot by Laurie. Oh, well done by Missa there.
Ball just going over the sideline as she was fighting for it on that occasion.
Good settling shot there by Lucy Benjamin.
Wildcats looking like, as they've come into this third quarter, that they've just got a bit more fluency in their attack at the moment. That first and second phase, so the centre pass and then the second movement towards the circle has been working quite effectively. Just seeing another short pass on that occasion.
Yeah, well done.
Alita's so stealthy when she does that. She just is able to somehow tiptoe her way through, get her body in the right position.
Yeah, she's got great anticipation and fantastic speed off the mark, so able to be like a robber in the night in some ways, just come through without anyone knowing. But unfortunately, the Wildcats turned it over through a hell ball, so they were guilty of this a little bit in the, about this time in the last quarter where they started to almost close up a little bit. So need to try and push through. The Jets, on the other hand, hard luck there by Charlie Bell, just not able to control that. Need to really make the most of those opportunities when they get them.
Is that challenge too as a feeder there, the Ipswich Jets? Like they were on the circle edge, but trying to feed to Charlie, who had two defenders on her, rather than keeping their vision wide and looking for the person that was free.
Yeah, look, definitely.
Wildcats have taken advantage of it, scoring that goal and just pushing the lead out 30-27. Jets just look like they've backed off a little bit on their drive. Rosie Baker's re-entered the game there at goal attack.
Yeah, well done there by Charlie Bell. Yeah, look, I think again another really smart change up there, just to again keep the Wildcats defenders guessing. Changes up the timing and the dynamics of that attack end. The difference between Baker and Benjamin, but they both offer something different in a really positive way. So, hard luck there, Sherlock. Guilty of contact after the shot was taken.
Yeah, it's important for defenders to be disciplined in that process. Annie Laurie doesn't miss too many. If she does miss one, you want to make the most of it when you're in the opposition.
It's a good touch there by Laurie.
Nora Miss are doing a great job, really matching all of Bridie Condren's moves. Bridie does, as you said earlier, move quite well for her height, and it's something that she's really worked on as she's come through the underage programs. Every role that she's doing, every move she's making, Lenora's matching her at this point in time, so makes it challenging for Charlie to find space.
Yeah, look, definitely, and Lenora's obviously hugely experienced, has come up through our underage, played for Samoa this year in the World Cup, was awarded the player with the most intercepts across the whole tournament. So, she's very smart and experienced, and will definitely be working really hard on Charlie.
Brookham's just probably looking for a call on that occasion, not coming. Alita being her stealthy self and able to pick that ball off. And the Wildcats are moving quickly into attack.
Yeah, got a bit more drive now. A little bit stagnant at times, but that's a better... When they're almost able to get it over that transverse, their attacking transverse line, it's much easier for them to penetrate down onto the circle, but the Jets do a great job at defending that transverse, which making it really tough for them to be able to do that. And that was a great backup there by Taylor on Bava's intercept. I feel like the Wildcats got their tails in the air a little bit, letting balls go that they may not have let go a little bit earlier. The Jets are going to need to try and stop this momentum.
Jets have made another change with McKeely Hosh coming into centre. So it'll be interesting to see what McKeely's height and change of direction can do.
Hard luck there by Baker. Just unable to control that. She
probably just took her eyes off that ball before she finished the catch on that occasion.
Yeah, I think she was guilty of looking at what her option might be before receiving it, but
that was pretty slick on that occasion for the Wildcats in their attacking moves. They really timed their movements off one another particularly well and were able to just let the ball go freely down the court. So they're just sneaking out now to a 6-goal lead. Wildcats are 35 to the Ipswich Jets 29. Good touch on that occasion for Bridie Condren, but it was called back for an infringement closer to the transverse line.
Well, no, probably just needed to stay into that one. Just guilty of probably just being a little bit over-eager.
Yes.
Great work, Annie Laurie. Missed the shot, but followed it and was able to get the rebound.
She reads that ball particularly well. Not that she misses a lot, but when she does, she's usually pretty good at reading it.
Yeah, I think most goalers will be able to tell you that they can feel it as soon as it leaves their hand, whether it's going to make it or not. So I think Laurie knew pretty quickly. Oh, hard luck there by Grant. Did very well to try and keep that in, but unfortunately the goalpost got in the way.
So,
Vava. And that's why she was awarded the Katie Walker Sapphire.
Yes, absolutely.
So it looks like a warning may have been given there to Leah Warno.
Yeah, it looks like it was caution on that occasion.
Caution, yep.
Just got a few penalties that came all in a row there. It looked like the last one for a footwork crawl, putting the Ipswich Jets back in possession. And they'll be looking to just settle themselves here at the moment to stop this run from the Wildcats.
Yeah, there was a great feed there by O'Brien. I think some players may have been guilty to try and play a bit safe, but she just did. Oh, well done there by Warno.
One of Leah's strengths is that while she's strong body on body, and she did draw the umpire's eye there just before, she was able to keep her head in the game, get back onto it, and start to play tough in defence. Unfortunately, they're just not able to capitalise on that occasion.
Yeah, she's very dogged, Leah Warno, so great shot by Laurie. Probably just a little bit over-eager, which, given the context of the game, it's understandable. We see Benjamin back on the court, and it was a great challenge there by Danielle Taylor.
So it's that tough thing when the pressure's on, that at the moment they're probably just pushing passes that are not quite as easy as they'd like, and they're not quite connecting. So for them, again, to absorb the pressure, take a breath, and be able to get back on track.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think, at times when you are trying really hard, it can go against you. And I think, the Jets are more... There's still a whole quarter of netball to be played, and they're only 8 down, which is really only 4 turnovers.
It's like another call in back play at this point in time. Umpire being very specific about where she wanted that penalty to be set.
Yeah, well done there. O'Brien and Baker. Oh, Lenora Missile. That was a fantastic rejection of the shot.
It was.
Over a taller opponent in Lucy Benjamin.
The timing has to just be so perfect to get that happening. 1, 2...
Amazing. That she made that look easy. That is very hard to do.
So Lucy just trying to provide some protection to Rosie Baker on that shot. Unfortunately not able to get it to drop. And the Wildcats doing a great job in positioning for the rebound. They're probably just being a little smarter at the moment in that rather than force that ball down the court in that quick transition. They reset it, got everyone organised, and then found a smoother path down the court.
Yeah, definitely. They've got great depth and flow in their attack end.
So we're coming into this last minute of the third quarter in this game between the Wildcats and the Jets. And the Wildcats are just pushing the scoreline out, 40-31 at the moment. Jets will want to score at least this goal and hopefully get a turnover so that they can get themselves back on track and feel like they're still in touch going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, look, the Jets have got more than the capability and experience required to bring the scoreline back. They just need to not leave it too late. The Wildcats, on the other hand, really need to just continue to do what they've been doing. They just look so confident and free in their play. And one of the things the Jets absolutely have to do is stay in play to allow themselves to be in that contest.
Good work from Bridie Condren then to contest that ball with Alicia Tahara along the baseline and then just to stay in control to get the last ball. Wildcats putting everything they can into that defensive pressure.
There's a lot of emotion being shown, which is
both teams feeling somewhat frustrated as the seconds were ticking away there towards the end of that quarter. It's been a strong quarter from the QUT Wildcats, winning the quarter 15-8 and pushing the overall scoreline out 40-32.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think the Wildcats were much more efficient on their centre passes, scoring 83%, much more efficient on their turnover conversion, scoring 88%, and also every time they got it into the circle, they would pretty much put it to goal at 94%. So with that in mind, I think that's the difference. When you look though, the Jets had those opportunities. They had the turnovers similar to the Wildcats, but they just weren't able to get them to goal, and they weren't able to. When they did get them into the goal, they weren't always able to score it. So the circle entry conversion was low for them. So it's not lost though. There's still a whole another 15 minutes to go. Tracy Jeans, she's very experienced. She'll be giving lots of instructions to her players, and like I said, they've more than got the capability and experience to bridge this 8-goal gap.
Should be a great fourth quarter to this prelim final. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre for the final quarter in this prelim final match in the HART Sapphire series between the QUT Wildcats and the Ipswich Jets. We're going into this final quarter with the Wildcats just having pushed the scoreline out, 40 to the Ipswich Jets 32. Both teams will be working really hard, and it seems like we've just got a bit of a turnover fest between Helena Verve and Steph O'Brien at the moment. Wildcats have come out with the ball, so it'll be interesting to see if they can use this first centre pass of the quarter to convert.
That was fantastic. I loved every minute of that. It just shows the desperation and what this game means to the players. And it's always sad, but there will be a loser tonight, and both teams deserve to go through.
Yeah, you talk to the players often about the fact that the best time to get the ball back if you've lost possession is in the next one or two passes, and that was a really good example of it from both teams. The Wildcats did well then once they eventually got possession to finish it off and to score the goal. They'll be wanting to really put their foot down in this fourth quarter and to take the result beyond the opposition. Looks like both teams have made some changes. So we've got Steph O'Brien, who's now in centre, and Brooke Hams is at wing attack. Rosie Baker's stayed at goal attack, and Lucy Benjamin's in shooter. Wildcats seem to have stayed with their combination at this stage.
Yeah, I don't believe there's been any changes in the Wildcats line.
The defensive pressure has been enormous from both teams throughout this game. That was a really smart baseline drive from Annie Laurie on that occasion, and Kesha Grant delivered a great pass.
Beautifully. It looks like Woono and Sherlock have swapped positions again.
We said at the beginning of this game that we thought the battles at either end of the court would make the difference. What are your thoughts at this stage?
Yeah, look, I think for me the difference has been the goal attack position. I think Laurie has really taken the shooting load off Tahara, which has meant that both Jets defenders have had to, keep both of them kind of entertained keep busy. Yeah, whereas I think at times both Baker and Benjamin or Bell have kind of drifted, which has made it hard for the Jets at times, only having that one goaler being able to go to the post.
And I think the defensive pressure that the Wildcats have been putting on, both Lenora and Dan Taylor, they're switching up whether they're one-on-one or whether they're playing a split circle. They're really keeping the Jets goalers busy, and they've not been able to find as good a position at this point in time.
Yeah, look, definitely. Well done by Laurie there to clean up that. Lucky, the Wildcats were lucky on that occasion because I think Mima overpumped that pass, but I mean, I think for me, the Jets just need to continue. Like, I understand the desperation. They do need to go for everything, but they absolutely need to stay in play and stay disciplined, because when they're out of play, they can't be involved in the contest.
Mm-hmm. So that was a cleaner challenge there on that occasion from Leah Woolnough. She's holding her leg a little bit there at the moment after taking that slide along the floor.
She's an absolute workhorse, Warno. She will leave everything out on the court tonight. She just needs to make sure that she's in play.
It's been really good in the last couple of games to see Annie Laurie join this group. She had been playing Ruby Series with some time on the court in Sapphire. Unfortunately, the season-ending injury for Riley Batchelor-Dore a few weeks ago when she did her ACL. But Riley's been playing a lot more court time here with the Sapphires, and she's been taking every opportunity when she's been out on the court.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the value of having the club's teams training together shows how seamless it was for Laurie to actually enter this team with such ease, and that's credit to both teams, but particularly their coaching staff, to allow that transition to occur. And whilst it may not have benefited the Ruby side in some ways, tonight it absolutely is benefiting the Sapphire team at this moment.
Ipswich are continuing with their strong defensive pressure and making it hard for the Jets, for the Wildcats to get down court. Wildcats are just continuing to be quite persistent with what they're doing. They push the scoreline out. And now it's 46-35, so 11 in front at this stage with a pass to come, which is the biggest margin that we've seen.
Yeah, look, I think, the Wildcats are playing real percentage netball, so they're just being really smart and patient in what they do and make sure that they get the ball to goal as much as possible. It's easier to do that when you're in front and you've got the clock on your side, but yeah, the Jets on the other hand really have to just go for everything, and they absolutely are. But it's hard to do when you're under pressure and time's not on your side.
And it's that difference. We were just talking about Annie Laurie and how well she's been playing in that goal attack position. She can do that because Alicia Chahara is such a strong target underneath the post, and the team knows that if they pull off Alicia, then the ball will just be delivered to her.
Yes.
Whereas Charlie, who's an up-and-coming player, is still gaining experience in that shooting role. Probably just tonight, Lenora Missa, with more experience, has denied her that space.
Yeah, definitely.
Great work from Bridie Condren on that occasion. Looks like there has been another change there in the back line with the Jets. Bridie Condren's moved out to goal defence, and they've brought Ashlyn Garrett into goalkeeper. So Ashlyn's also particularly tall. She's had some court time throughout the year, and they've just been working on building her length of court time out there.
Yeah, look, definitely. And I think, again, it's a smart move to put Conran on to Laurie, who has really taken the bulk of the shooting.
I'm amazed at how many direct intercepts we've had tonight. I'm not necessarily surprised because I know all of those players can do it, but to put all of that out in a final with this much speed, intensity, has just been outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a cracking match, and goodness me, Vava's been everywhere tonight. She has been outstanding.
Absolutely. And you said it earlier, it's a really good reminder for any defender. The more that you can have your hands over the ball and get that happening, they don't always come off, as in the direct intercepts, but it really makes it tough for your opponents.
Yeah, definitely. And it's that grinding pressure that you want to be able to build, because that stuff builds up and you're able to kind of cash in on it later, in the later stages of the game. And I think for the Wildcats, they were definitely able to do that in the last 5 minutes of that third quarter.
And the Wildcats are being ably assisted by their very vocal supporters in the crowd. So it's great to see so many people here and to hear so much noise supporting their team. That was a fantastic pass.
It was a great ball.
Lenora Missa and Dan Taylor have just been everywhere in defence tonight.
Yeah, they have just disrupted all day.
It's also so great to see Bridie Condren coming out of the circle into that goal defence role. She had some games on the bench with the Firebirds this year. She's a Firebirds training partner. Quite often with that amount of height, players get left back in the circle at goalkeeper.
Yes.
And to see that she's versatile and mobile and can play goal defence as well is just great.
Yeah, absolutely. She's another, tall athlete that has fantastic movement. So, to be able to utilise that further down the court is, great. And great for, the Jets to be able to do that at both ends, really, with having Benjamin and Bell out and moving in that combination, and then likewise with Condren and Garrett down in their defensive end. Like there was a caution there to Lenora Missa to stand out of play. Oh, Dan Taylor. They have been absolutely fantastic tonight.
Dan Taylor had only eyes for that ball. She was off the body, her closing speed and her ability to pull off those intercepts is just amazing. Jen's very unassuming. She often goes about her job quietly. Getting her to talk when she's on court is always something of a challenge, having worked with her in the past. She just can be so deadly, and her combination with Lenora tonight, I think, has been outstanding.
Yeah, definitely, and that combination has built up over the season. It's been, fantastic to watch that grow and develop, and great to see them reward their team with outstanding performances. The back three tonight have been outstanding, really. I can't find another word. They've just been, and that's taking nothing away from the Jets' attack line. I think that's credit to them. They've had to play their A game because of who they've been up against.
Yeah. So Wildcats are just maintaining this lead with 4 and a bit minutes to go. Scoreline currently 51-39, so they've got a 12-goal lead. We talked about in the earlier game, probably still doable, but it would mean for the Jets they'd have to get every centre pass and score off every turnover. Yeah,
definitely. And the way that the Wildcats are playing at the moment, I'm just not sure if they're going to let that happen.
It's amazing, and the Wildcats, I feel, have built confidence as this game's gone on. And as they've built confidence, it's allowed them to be more flowing in their attack end, that they're really timing those drives and their movements quite well, and then delivering good balls into space.
Yeah, look, definitely. You could really see their tails, kind of go up, particularly in the end of that third quarter. But to their credit, they've been able to maintain it because the Jets have thrown everything at them.
And even on that occasion, Ipswich Jets, still working really hard in defence, pushed all the Wildcats wide. They were using a box defence, but really a spread out one on that occasion, and able to cause the turnover.
Yeah, and a really nice shot there by Benjamin. So we see that the Jets have called another timeout with just under 3 minutes to go and down by 12 on the scoreboard, wanting to have one last crack at it.
Yeah, an opportunity just to take a breath, talk about what can they do in these last 3 minutes to really make it hard for the Wildcats. Wildcats are gaining confidence, and I think they'll be looking to just keep the pressure on, to keep working hard in attack, to get that timing happening. And defensively, their players have just been all over the court. Strong hands over, sometimes playing off the body, reading any ball that's floating in the air for any length of time, and being able to come through cleanly and take those intercepts.
I see lots of instructions being given by both coaches.
Yeah.
But both teams looking really positive. Not willing to let this game just play out. Wanting to make sure that they have, influence the outcome as much as possible.
Well, for one team, at this point in time, we'd suggest that they've only got 3 minutes to go in their season. So, unless it's a draw, we're getting very close to the end of this prelim final and to knowing who's going to play the Cougars next week. So we've got more changes happening. Charlie Bell's come back into goal shooter and Lucy Benjamin's moved out to goal attack. Brooke Holmes has come back into centre and Steph O'Brien's in wing attack.
Oh, great pass there by Grant. Held it up, put it into space.
We were talking earlier about Annie Laurie having stepped up from the Ruby team, and he's been one of the training partners with the under-19s, and just last week being selected into the squad for 2020. Stepped into the shoes of Riley Batchelor, who's one of the under-17 players, and has been going out there and playing particularly well against more experienced players. It's great to see those players coming through the underage pathways and then being able to transition into open competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And whilst Annie was a training partner for the Queensland team, she played for Northern Territory under-19s this year, and by all accounts, had a cracking nationals, based on the feedback that we received. So, great for her to get that opportunity and to have a nationals under her belt. And I think you're just seeing kind of the outcome of that, because if anything, she's always been a really talented player, but her confidence, that's something that I've definitely seen develop over these last 12 months. Her ability just to turn and go to the post, or to let that ball go when it's on instead of holding it up and not necessarily backing her pass. Yeah. All those little things, I think, have improved for her, and it's wonderful to see.
Yeah. We're into the last minute of this preliminary final, and I'd suggest with the Wildcats leading by 13 that they're going to take this match and then move forward to play the Cougars next week. Jets have had a great season to make it through here to the prelim final. Probably today the Wildcats have really stepped up both their attacking and their defensive pressure and played a fairly spectacular game of netball and just really not let the Jets have any rhythm today.
Yeah, I think they've been really smart in what they've been able to do, and have really, I think they really did their homework around the opposition and what they were, was able to execute it. I think that's the important element, the execution, their ability to win ball back, and their ability to make the play when it counted today is why they will go into the big dance next week against the Brisbane North Cougars.
Great rebound from Annie and scoring on the hooter for the Wildcats to win that match 57-43. Lots of excitement in the Wildcats camp because it's the first time that they've made it through to the grand final in any of the previous competitions, or this year, being the first HART Sapphire series. So as a club, they're very excited.
Yeah, congratulations to them. What an outstanding season they've had. They had a fantastic game this afternoon, but they've got one more to go against the Brisbane North Cougars next week. To the Ipswich Jets, though, what a gallant, they put up a gallant fight this afternoon, played right to the final whistle, and should be really proud of the season that they've had.
Absolutely. It's always tough when you come to the end of your season. They'll get some time to reflect and then start to make their plans for the 2020 season. Plenty of really good positives for them to work on coming into the new year. Wildcats come up against Cougars next week. Cougars have been undefeated. They've had the draw. Wildcats got really close to them last week in the semi-final. What are your thoughts going into the games for next week?
Oh, look, it's going to be another cracking match next week. It was 2 the difference last week between, both teams, and I think, everything on the line, obviously, with the grand final, in the big grand final game. I still think it's anyone's game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm thinking next week that if the Wildcats can come out with that amount of both attacking and defensive pressure, they're going to make the Cougars work really hard, and they'll have plenty of opportunities to actually come out as victors.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see all of those matchups across the court in that final. It's been a fantastic evening here at the HART Sapphire Series for this preliminary final match. We'd like to thank our sponsors, HART Sport, Legassic Jewelers, Powerade, Mizuno Footwear, Mount Franklin Water. Lots of fun. I've enjoyed your company this evening, Sim, as we've been watching this fantastic game of netball. So many talented players out there on court.
Absolutely.
Like to invite everyone to come back and join us again next week for the grand final as we watch this HART Sapphire Series first grand final between the Cougars and the QUT Wildcats. Thanks for your company, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.